Boxing.
Good evening. This will be an explosive boxing program. 3 fights, 3 world champions and 3 big finishes. The main event, the great Julio Cesar Chavez in his latest fight from Las Vegas. Then Carlos Salazar defending the IBF super flyweight title from the Italian capital of Rome. While Tokyo provides our 3rd venue where Hiroshi Kawashima defends his title against Boy Aruan. That is the WBC super flyweight championship. And we've a special competition with a video library of great world champions on offer for 5 lucky winners. First up, though, Mexico's national hero, Julio Cesar Chavez, who makes his 98th professional appearance in the ring. It's an untitled fight against the American Scott Walker. It comes from Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Chavez, the WBC light welterweight champion, is 33 years old. He's been a pro since he was 17. In those 16 years, he set up this fantastic record. 97 fights, 95 wins, 77 of them by way of knockout, with just 1 defeat by Frankie Randall and 1 draw, Pernell Whitaker. If he wins this one, Chavez will have a £12 million showdown with Oscar de la Hoya on June the 7th. This fight against Walker will only gross Chavez £500,000. Scott Pink Cat Walker lost 3 fights as a novice. Since then, he's gathered a record that now reads 25 fights, 21 wins, 12 of them inside the distance, 3 losses and 1 draw. The commentators are Reg Gutteridge and Jim Watt.
Well, it's going to be a tough one for this boy Scott Walker from Arizona against a man who's already a legend in the fight game, Mexican hero Chavez. What a fight, a 3-weight champion. At 22, he won his first championship. What he's looking to do here, actually, is get himself a tall opponent so that he can have a kind of practice match, if necessary, to then go on to fight Oscar de la Hoya. And what about that's going to be? Always assuming Mr. Walker doesn't create some kind of upset, and it really would be more than an upset. It'd be a mishap, I should think. He's won his last 6, Scott Walker, but nowhere near into this category of opponent. Well, we've seen a lot of Chavez over the years now, Jim, on ITV. I mean, what a champion he is.
Yeah, tremendous. He's faced everyone. He's never dodged an opponent. Couple of little bits of luck along the way, but I think he deserved a little bit. I mean, we all remember the draw with Pernell Whitaker. I thought it was an atrocious scoring. But as I say, he deserves a little bit of luck, and they won't have taken any chances tonight with the De La Hoya fight. $12 million, well, more than that probably, by the time they get into the ring. So, Welsh, as you say, just to give him a little outing against a tall guy. He looks fairly confident. He's moving around well, sticking out the jab the same way De La Hoya would do, I suppose. But we can't expect him really to test Chavez.
Get him out of there. Come on.
Well, Joe Cortez, the referee, seen quite a bit of him, the man that virtually helped Nigel Benn win the championship. And that was in Rome after 3 rounds with Galvano. So there's the Mexican. You know, Jim, the boxing business is not a sport to the Mexican supporters. It's a religion almost with them, and they've flooded into Caesar's Palace. And the heavy rollers and gamblers have just had a break from the roulette wheels, etc., to come and watch this fella in action. He could draw a crowd just to see him sweat.
I'm actually wondering why they've stuck Walker into this fight, because he looks not bad. He looks like a decent prospect. He's moving around well, good balance, good movement. But he must be a lamb to the slaughter here. They can't possibly think he has a chance of beating Chavez. So you wonder why at this stage of his career they've put him in here.
Well, some of the managers and promoters are gamer than the fighters, Jim. It looks as though he just wants to take his time a bit here, Chavez, I suspect.
That's a decent jab, Walker. is snapping out there. As I say, he's moving around well. I know Chavez hasn't really got down to work yet, but so far Walker looks competent.
Just measuring in for size there with the left hook. It can come with either hand with Chavez. The short punches inside, they break the spirit of an opponent often. But by his record, really, Chavez, a kind of tame opening round.
Time!
I think he was pleased to hear the bell there, Scott Walker. At least I've managed a round with him, mostly by the courtesy of Chavez. Well, there it is, the guys in the corner, they're with him all the time now.
Don't use the jab till he steps forward. When he steps forward, time him with that jab. Put it on him. And if you could hit him with it a second time, double up on it, okay? If you jab more, he'll start to bob up under into left hooks and straight right uppercuts.
Let's clear that corner, let's clear that corner, come on.
The referee having to clear the corner there with that schoolmaster talk almost. And I must say, Jim, he does look like a schoolboy even, Scott Walker, doesn't he? 26 against Chavez 33, who came in at 10 stone 4 for this one. And the WBC light welter is 10 stone.
I think the instructions in the corner were a bit too precise. I would have left Walker's jab alone. Any success he's had in the first round there, he was snapping the jab out well. I wouldn't have changed it. I mean, we know Chavez hasn't got down to work yet, but there was nothing wrong in what Walker did in the first round.
I often wonder whether Chavez gets just a touch of lead in the old legs as he's going on, but he really is an exceptional fighter. We talk about the old days. He could have handled himself with, well, I think all the champions of the past. He'd have been there at even money with them. Just tracking him, isn't he, Jim, Chavez? Waiting to get him in the right position to let a punch go with some force in.
Well, he doesn't intend grinding this fellow down. He looks as though he's trying to set himself for one big shot. Normally Chavez likes to work the body, let the punches flow and grind guys down, but I think he reckons he can do this job with one hit.
Crowd signal every successful punch by Chavez. There they go again. He looks so frail, doesn't he, Scott Walker, Jimmy? Oh, dear, his leg started disobeying right away there. He was just setting himself for that punch, Chavez. It was always going to happen. Now he'll come from all angles now. It's got to be a survival job, and I doubt if he can make it, Scott Walker. Just out of his league. He's a game enough guy, Jim. He's tried to smother.
Nah. That one punch, we reckon Chavez was looking for the one hit, and that's what's done it. That one punch has completely broken all of his defences down.
Let's go, don't be holding.
Hardly call it a rehearsal for Oscar De La Hoya, who's far advanced, as tall as this guy, admittedly. Maybe he's practicing the right hand on the top like that,
Chavez just taking him to pieces now. This little fella, he doesn't have the strength. He's been forced to trade, and he simply can't do it.
Oh dear, it's just one side as a lynching, this is.
Referee wants to get him out of there. He's well out of the fight. He's taking punches. He's got no strength to come back with anything. Why is the referee allowing this to go on?
Come on, Cortez. In he goes. That's just it. Well, a little early would have done us, but we can't complain about that, Jim.
Well, I can complain, Reg. The referee jumps in as though he was doing him a favour. He's just stepped in at his leisure. Oh, a full half minute ago. Instead of leaving and jumping in with a drama, that little fellow took punches he didn't have to take.
Have another look at it.
That first right hand, bang, it was all over from this point. Okay, give him a chance to recover. But when it became obvious he couldn't recover, why subject him to this? From this point on, he was really just holding on, just trying to survive. That was another knockout shot he took, that left hook inside. Full courage to Walker, plenty of guts. But at this stage here, the referee's having a good look. What was the point letting it go any further?
Yeah, I agree with you, obviously. Just a second, about 6 punches too late, Jim, wasn't he? There it is.
Then he jumps in with all the drama as though he saved somebody's life. Maybe he did.
Well, there it is, on his way now to his 100th professional fight.
Still the WBC Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Next up, Argentina's Carlos Salazar defending the IBF Super Flyweight Championship against the unbeaten Italian challenger Antonello Melis.